A disparate collection of vagabonds and strays. Did you have anyone particular in mind? It would have been better for us had she embraced Shah and claimed the power of the goddess. But it is better for Shadowheart to be free of that poisonous influence. The gods are the source of our woes. Though I concede that Shah is far from the worst of them. The Night Singer has some admirable qualities. Far more than her insipid sister. But her followers are repressed. Take the child Shadowheart. She does not even know who she is, but still manages to pity herself. The very concept of Sharan worship is self-indulgent. They would have you think every whispered word and hidden thought is of value, but it is not so. I have performed 1,000 interrogations, squeezing out the most guarded secrets held in heart, mind, and soul. I can tell you this. When the trivial parts have been whittled away and I have sifted through what remains, in most cases, a person amounts to nothing at all. He's been deprived of freedom and strong blood for so long that he is addicted to both. While those addictions have their hold on him, he is still a slave. No. He is well aware that I would exsanguinate him entirely if he flashed his fangs at me. Free. What purpose does he have that does not involve his master? He fears him, he hates him, he dreams of him, and he will either kill him or die trying. Astarion is no more free of Cazador than you or I are free of our tadpoles. He will only be free when Cazador is dead, and that is as it should be. When the time comes, we must hope that he does not only take Cazador's long life, but the power that has sustained him as well. I have encountered few Githyanki in my life. Those that I did were raiders. They croaked out pleas for mercy in their alien tongue as they died. Meeting Lae'zel makes me wish I knew more of their culture. I did. She told me that she has nothing to teach that cannot be learned through observation of her prowess in combat. Perhaps she is right. She certainly cuts a striking figure in battle. There is a precision to her ferocity that I admire. To one who only sees the surface of things, perhaps. You should look deeper. In spite of her youth, there is a patience and precision in Lae'zel's thoughts and actions that I admire. Those qualities will strengthen as she matures. The wizard? No. It is pointless. In my experience, the moment they leave their libraries, wizards have the life expectancy of a gnome in a war. Either the enemy recognizes they are a threat and kills them swiftly, or their curiosity leads them to combust while experimenting with the limits of magic. Our wizard is already in a state of suspended combustion, thanks to that orb between his ribs. I suspect it is only a matter of time before he goes up in smoke. I will reserve my social graces for those who might live long enough to appreciate them. I have never known anyone so ferocious and unassailable in battle, and yet so fragile and impermanent in their very being. I often think of mortality as a curse. In time, all that I am and all that I have known and learned will be lost. In time, our cities will be dust. Karlach does not seem to have such anxieties. Perhaps because she cannot afford to. She exists in the moment, and she will burn out and be gone in a moment. There is something very beautiful about that. She is intelligent, strong, and capable as both a leader and a fighter. An impressive woman. It is a shame that she devotes all of her talents and experience to the futile cause of the Harpers. Their devotion to preserving balance is pathetic. That notion is a lie, amplified by the weak to preserve their feeble grip on the world. There are organizations like the Harpers in every realm and every culture. I despise all of them. They fear change and would rather maintain mediocrity than face the risks and challenges that progress demands. I would rather break the world and build it anew than be satisfied with its imperfections. He would despise me if he had the wits to understand me, but as long as he believes we have a common cause, he does not see beyond that. I enjoy his simplicity. Oloth help me. Sometimes I almost envy it. I am not so sure. As we saw when he acted as the Stone Lord, Minsk is a dangerous tool. A powerful weapon without a mind to guide it. His righteous rage has been directed at my people in the past, and it can be as brutal and merciless as any act committed by the Drow. Fortunately, for now, he punches wherever we point, and serves our needs well. And while you live, you'll be enslaved to your appetites and hungers. We all feed on something, and if we are deprived of it, we will fight for it. But Astarion is not only bound to his needs and desires, he is still bound to something more powerful. His master. Their mastery of the weave is commendable, but they are poor conversationalists. In my experience, they do not usually live long enough to make the effort of befriending them worthwhile. Don't sulk. I admire your mastery of the weave, but I have known many wizards. In my experience, they do not usually live long enough to make the effort of befriending them worthwhile. Present company excluded, of course. I'm sure you will live to a ripe old age. Gale, however, is already in a state of suspended combustion, thanks to that orb between his ribs. I suspect it is only a matter of time before he goes up in smoke. Indeed. I think he is happier than we are. It is his enemies you should pity. If I did not have my schemes, I would hardly know where to aim my boot. I think I am beginning to. To one who only sees the surface of things, perhaps. You should look deeper. There is a fanaticism in the Loth Swarm that lends itself to chaos. They turn their blades on one another as readily as on outsiders. The Gith have stricter hierarchies and stronger commitment to a single cause. Some, like Lae'zel, question that cause. But even so, she retains the discipline of her training. It is precisely because they are perceived as good that they are so dangerous. Their intentions do more harm to the world than any warmonger could. Precisely. Preservation and balance are an excuse for inaction and stagnation. Meeting you and Lae'zel makes me wish I knew more of your culture. Yes. Even separated from your people, you have the habits of a soldier. I see it in your stance and in the way you care for your gear. In time, I would know your poetry, your art, and your philosophy. For now, I will continue to observe you in battle. There is a precision to your approach that I admire. Even now, infected and far from home, Lae'zel stays true to the cause. That shows resolve, Most Gith do not seem to know their own hearts, nor do they need to. They have strict hierarchies and commitment to a single cause. I would like to be among them. I think there is much we could learn from one another. The devil makes Will strong. What would he be without her? Will doesn't just have blood and dirt on his hands. He has stains on his soul. Those last more than a lifetime. It is as it should be. Purity of soul and deed will not help us to survive the Absolute. I would rather be allied with a warlock than the spoiled son of a noble who has more experience with diplomats than devils. He is exceedingly self-righteous. Amusing, considering he bound himself to a devil. Then do not suffer him. You do not need to like a man to fight alongside him effectively, and Will is a good soldier. I will take your word for it. I only care that he is a good soldier, and he has not disappointed me on that front. One day, the strings will snap, and then you will either learn to walk without aid for the first time, or you will rot where you fall. Whatever culture you and I once shared, it no longer has a hold on me, Lothsworn. You still listen to the whispers of the Spider Queen's web. I only obey my own heart's desires. Your divine puppeteer is just as toxic as Shadowheart's, my little marionette.